Have you ever felt like you were trying so hard, yet somehow your results still never measure up to others? You study, you work, you push yourself every single day, but then you look around and someone always seems to be smarter, faster, or more confident than you. That feeling is exhausting, isn't it? We often think that in order to be successful, we have to be as good as someone else to be top of the class, to speak perfectly, or to do something grand and impressive. But maybe success does not come from trying to become another person. Maybe it begins with understanding who you truly are, what you are good at, and having the courage to stay committed to it. Today's story is about a young boy who once thought he was not good enough just because he was not as talented as his friends. Yet, through 3 simple lessons from his father, he realized something that many people spend a lifetime trying to understand: that everyone has their own strengths, and with the right kind of practice, even something ordinary can become extraordinary. So, stay with the story until the end, because you might discover that the thing you have been searching for all this time has actually been within you all along. Leo was a 12-year-old boy, quick, lively, and full of energy. He loved playing sports, especially soccer, where he felt most alive and true to himself. Every afternoon after school, Leo would run to the public field near his house and play until the sun went down. But today was different. As soon as he stepped into the house, Leo threw his backpack onto the sofa, his face gloomy and his eyes lost in thought. He opened his notebook, stared at his test paper, and sighed. His father, Robert, a calm and warm-hearted man, walked in from the backyard and immediately sensed that something was wrong. He gently asked, "What's bothering you, Leo?" Leo hesitated for a moment, then softly said, "I got a bad grade in math, Dad." He paused, his voice growing quieter. "I really tried my best, but my friend Ethan always gets top scores. Everything seems so easy for him, while I keep making mistakes." Robert smiled kindly and placed his hand on his son's shoulder. "Leo," he said, "today, I am not going to tell you what to do, but I want you to learn 3 small lessons, and if you can truly understand them, you will not be sad about this anymore." Leo looked up at his father, his eyes filled with curiosity and hope. "3 lessons? What are they, Dad?" Robert replied slowly, "There is no need to rush. You will understand each lesson on your own through the things I am about to ask you to do." The evening breeze gently stirred the trees in the small garden behind their house. Leo had no idea that what was about to happen would completely change the way he saw himself and what success really means. The next morning, Robert said to his son, "Today, I only want you to do one small thing. Invite Ethan to the soccer field and play a match together." Leo looked surprised. "But Ethan doesn't even know how to play soccer, Dad." His father just smiled and said, "Do it anyway. You will understand what I mean." That afternoon, the sky was clear, and a gentle breeze swept across the soccer field. Leo and Ethan joined a few neighborhood kids for a game. The match began, and within just a few minutes, Leo scored the first goal. Then came the second, and the third. The team cheered loudly, while Ethan was panting and stumbling around the field, missing the ball again and again. When the game ended, everyone was in good spirits, except Ethan, who felt a little embarrassed for not playing well. Leo patted his friend on the shoulder with a friendly smile and said, "Hey, don't worry, it's your first time. That's how everyone starts." That evening, Leo told his father all about it. "I won big today, Dad." "Ethan?" "Well, he was really clumsy. He couldn't even kick the ball right." Robert nodded gently, smiling knowingly. "You see, Ethan may not be good at soccer, but he's really good at math." And you, on the other hand, are great at soccer. Each person has their own playing field, and what matters is not who's better than whom, but whether you find the place where you can shine. Leo sat in silence. For the first time, he felt a sense of relief. He realized that not being good at math did not make him any less than anyone else. It simply meant that everyone is born to be good at something different. The next day, Robert said again, "Today, I just want you to observe Ethan at school. Pay attention to how much time he spends studying." Leo nodded, determined to complete his mission. Throughout the day, he watched Ethan closely. During class, during breaks, even when others were chatting, Ethan always had his pencil in hand, scribbling little equations and solving problems on his desk. When Leo got home, he excitedly told his father everything. "Dad, I had no idea Ethan loved math that much. He solves puzzles, does calculations, and counts everything around him, even the petals on the plant in the classroom." Robert smiled warmly. "That's why Ethan is good at it. He wasn't born knowing math. He became good because he loves it and practices every day. You're good at soccer for the same reason, not because of luck, but because you have trained for so long. If you want to be good at something, there's only one way. Do it every single day until it becomes a part of who you are." Leo nodded, feeling enlightened. He realized that talent is not something you are simply born with. It is a habit built through love and persistence. The following afternoon, Robert asked, "If you had to compare, how many times better do you think Ethan is at math than you?" Leo thought for a moment and replied, "Maybe about 3 times better, Dad." Robert nodded. "Then today, I want you to study math 3 times harder than usual." Leo gave a nervous laugh. "3 times? That sounds a little scary, Dad." But he still decided to give it a try. That evening, Leo sat down at his desk. He opened his book and began solving each problem, one after another. An hour passed, then 2. His head started to ache, and his eyes grew tired. He pushed himself a little longer until he could not go on anymore and fell asleep right there at the table, surrounded by numbers. When he woke up, his father was sitting beside him, speaking softly. "It's all right, son. You tried your best." Leo lowered his head and said in a tired voice, "I'm sorry, Dad. I couldn't do what you told me to. I studied so much that my head started to hurt." Robert placed a gentle hand on his son's shoulder and said in a warm, steady tone, "That's exactly what I wanted you to understand. When you force yourself to do something you do not truly love, persistence becomes a burden. But when you do what you genuinely love, discipline turns into joy and you no longer feel tired." Then he looked deeply into his son's eyes and said something Leo would never forget. "If you want to become excellent, either learn what you love or learn to love what you do." From that day on, Leo changed completely. He no longer compared himself to Ethan. Instead, he spent his time focusing on what he loved, and also learning to be patient with the things he was not yet good at. He began studying math more slowly, not for the grades, but because he wanted to understand, to explore, and to challenge himself. And gradually, something magical happened. Math was no longer something to be afraid of. It became a game, a new kind of challenge. Just like soccer, the very thing that had once filled every afternoon of his life with excitement and joy. Many years later, Leo still remembered that afternoon. The moment his father taught him, "Learn what you love," or "Learn to love what you are learning," he realized that to be successful, you do not need to have some extraordinary talent. All you need is persistence, love for what you do, and the courage to keep improving yourself every single day. And perhaps the most valuable lesson Leo ever learned. is also something we should all remember. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to keep going and believe in yourself. Because when you have the courage to do what you love, and the patience to practice it day after day, no matter how slow your journey seems, you are always moving closer to true success. And what about you? If you had to choose today, would you start doing what you love? Or learn to love what you are doing? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because who knows, your story might just become the inspiration someone else needs. If this story touched your heart, do not forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss the next stories in Journey to Greatness, where every story is a journey, and every journey is a lesson that brings you one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself.